Do you feel it? That pull beneath your ribs? That itch at the back of your eyes when the wind whispers names you've never spoken? That is the ledger stirring, not a book, not truly a wound, a weight, a record of every truth this world tried to bury, and it is opening again. There is no ink in this book, only ash, no pen but the blade, no page but the bones of dead empires. They say history is written by the victors. That's a lie. The losing tell themselves the truth. History is written by the hungriest, and the hungriest thing in this world is the world itself. Koria does not remember. It records in stone, in screams, in silence. Every oath broken, every son betrayed, every tower toppled. It's all still here, scrawled into the marrow of the earth. The ledger has no end. It only waits. There was a time before crowns, before borders and creeds and maps lined in blood. They called it the Age of Ash. It was the age when gods still wept, when dragons were not myth, but judgment, when dwarves lit their forges with the breath of titans, and the sky bled fire each dusk. You won't find these truths in books, not the real ones. They've been buried, bound in silver, fed to the tides, but the ledger remembers the 7 flames, each dragon a sin-given wings, each mountain raised not for war but for memory. Kingdoms rose on the backs of betrayal, and every piece was a blade disguised as a wedding vow. You speak of the first imperium like it was noble. You forget they drank a god to sleep. You forget that the crown was carved from a demon's horn. You forget because forgetting is easier than answering. But the ledger does not forget. It waits, coiled in the dust beneath your cities. Then came the silence, or what you called silence. What you prayed was silence. But the world did not go quiet. It only began to whisper. Craneport cracked like old bone. Its harbor burned not from fire, but from dreams gone rancid. The iron griffins, brave, foolish, cursed, they turned a key no one asked them to find, and something stepped through. Not a monster, not at first. It came not with claws, but questions. It fed not on flesh, but memory. Do you know what it means to forget your own name? To wake and see your son and not know him? That is what came through the gate. That was the price of opening the ledger again. Dado, Zoilar Wolf, they are etched into the book now, each stroke of ink, a wound in the world. Each step they take echoes through the ledger like thunder in a crypt. And I see my name again, written in reverse, dripping with oil, not ink, bound beside names I once loved, once killed. You think this world is broken? No, it is still being built, but the hands that build it have teeth, and the stones are lies mortared with blood. The blackmoors, the broken compass, the 7 unbroken blades. You act as if these things are separate, but the ledger ties them all. Every faction, every family, every flame, bound by pages you can't see, bound by truths you're too afraid to speak aloud. There is another war coming, not one of armies, not of swords and towers and flags. No, this is the war you don't notice until your tongue forgets how to form your daughter's name, until the stars rearrange, until the sea forgets how to rise. The vaults are opening, the red tyrant still dreams. The sleeping ember has turned in his sleep. The crown of stone has begun to hum again. And no one asks why the crows gather on the old trees. There are 7 keys, but 8 locks, and the last lock is not a door. It is a name spoken backward by a mouth with no face. They worship it in the drowned cities. They tattoo it on the bellies of the dead. They whisper it to children who were never born. Even the demons obey something older. Even dragons weep in its shadow. You want prophecy? Here it is. The ledger ends where it began, with one lie so powerful it became truth. There will come a day when the skies burn not from fire, but from remembrance, when the rivers turn not red with blood, but with names. Names the world was not meant to keep, names you've already forgotten, but the ledger hasn't. I tried to leave it behind, tried to become man again, to forget the ink and the inkwell and the scribe's curse. But the book keeps calling me back, not to write, to witness. You still believe there is a difference between the watcher and the writer. You still believe your story belongs to you. It doesn't. It never did. You're already in the ledger, scrawled in crooked script between kings and cowards. But don't worry, you're not alone. There's still one more page to turn, and I am the feather that falls when the chapter ends. The ledger is still being written, and this time it ends with your name.